Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again with another Reddit story for you. This one comes from AITA and is titled, Am I the astronaut for freaking out at my mom for not upholding her promise for the care of my child while my wife and I were in the hospital for the birth of baby number 2? My wife and I just got out of the hospital with the birth of our second child. Both of my parents were supposed to take care of and spend the night with my older son, 2.5, during this time. We went through every single detail together as this is the first time both my wife and I would be away from him overnight. So it was a big moment for us mentally. Both of my parents got the play-by-play, and our understanding was both parents would be staying overnight to help our son. My mom would talk about how they would both sleep either on the couch or on our air mattress in our bedroom, as my son had a tendency to get up several times during the night. He will walk through the house at night looking for us, so we wanted to make sure my parents would sleep on the same floor as him and be easy to find. While I ultimately trust both of my parents, my mom is a nurse and has a great overall mothering, caring capacity. We were comforted that she would be with my son the first night away. She has spent more time with him and was involved with caring and changing his diaper. I trust my dad, but he did not have the same level of caring or changing diapers or etc. with him. Without telling either my wife or I, my mom decided to not spend the night at our house and left my dad there alone. She left after my son went to bed so she could get a better night's sleep at home for work the next day. I found this out from the cameras at the house. I'm not 100% certain on this, but I think there is a high probability she turned off tracking on her phone as her driving history randomly stopped. We share location via app. Malicious intent now. She was intentionally hiding the fact that she wasn't going to stay there. That's up. I found this out on my own the first night in the hospital and did not say anything to her because I did not want the drama while we were in the hospital. She did it again the second night. Shit. I asked my wife while in the hospital if it was her understanding that my mom would not spend the night at my house, and she said definitely not. We contemplated if I needed to go home to make sure everything would be good with my son. While in the hospital, she was texting me updates about how the night went, the number of times my son woke up, etc. I just felt like she was trying to play it like she was there, even when I knew she was not. I texted my dad directly to check in. After we left the hospital, I texted my mom saying, going forward, I would like better communication regarding the care of my children. Basically, if she promises something to me regarding the care of my children, she needs to either fulfill it or discuss it with me if the plans change, so I am aware. My mom got extremely defensive, justifying her decision, and would not let me talk over the phone. Her position was that nothing bad happened to my son. He was always safe and at home. I said I'm done with this conversation and hung up. I took a later call from her and let her know all of my frustrations with this in a not so calm manner. I definitely used some swear words that I'm not proud of. I was worked up. She tried to tell me she didn't want to burden me with the details while we were in the hospital. I told her every detail will always matter to me as it relates to the care of my child. She broke her promise to me and she should be ashamed of herself for causing all of this drama on day number 2 of my kid's life. I told her I lost some trust in her and I am disappointed that this was not discussed as part of our plans. Am I the astronaut? There are a few edits in here and an update. Edit, I'll get through the edits first and then we'll dive in. Edit 1, to clarify, the sleeping arrangement was suggested by her. I offered the bed and she said she doesn't want to mess with changing out the sheets. I could have told her I would handle the sheets looking back. Our couch is large, oversized L sectional. 2 full adults can easily lay stretched out without touching each other. Edit 2, there was no plan but instructions. He had to get to daycare during the day and they needed to know how to sign him in, walk to classroom, etc. Edit 3, the camera is over the driveway and I have told them it records before. It was no secret. Edit 4, I did not monitor my mom's driving history per se. We use a family sharing app that shows the past couple of days' history by default. She can see mine too. Okay, before we dive into this update, let's chat about this for a second. Here's the deal. If you are intentionally hiding something from me, that represents the fact that you are being more attentive with my child than you are actually being, and you are maliciously hiding that information, that's up, and I have no trust in you anymore. That's it. She lied about something regarding his child. Nope, not okay. And she should know better. She had so many options of staying there and just didn't want to. Not that OP's dad wasn't capable, but he didn't have the experience. And mom misrepresented herself here. She lied. The fact that she lied about it, and OP, I can tell you exactly why she wouldn't let you talk whenever you exposed her, because people, when they get exposed, they flip out. Her immediate immediate route here, her knee-jerk reaction was to be super defensive and just go. Her plan was to not let you talk. She knew she was wrong. She got exposed. That's why she flipped the fuck out. She knows it's wrong. She lied about it. Now it's just gaslighting. Yeah, your mom's doing that to you. Up, I know. Here's the problem. I feel like if you had another option that was stable, that you didn't, I feel like if you didn't rely on her as much as you did right now, you would have responded much more sternly, much more firmly. I feel like if you didn't rely on her as much as you do in your life to help with the kid, now kids, so much, it would have been I've lost all trust in you and not I've lost some trust in you. I feel like you wouldn't have waited until after you were out of the hospital to address this with your mom. I feel like you would have been swift and harsh, but fair. You are holding yourself back because you still need her. So riddle me this. Do you still need someone who is going to lie to you when it comes to taking care of your kids? Her justification was that nothing bad happened to him. She could only make that justification after the fact. She was willing to risk it for her own comfort. Do you want that person watching your kids? I don't care if she's your mom. I don't care if she's grandma. If she's putting them at risk, she doesn't get the luxury of spending time with them. Your mom is a bizzo. All right, here's the update. Thank you for all your feedback. We talked and both apologized. He still needs her. I apologized for how I reacted and the language I used. It was assholish of me. She apologized for not communicating the change in plans. She said it was poor judgment and it will never happen again. Apparently, she thought about letting us know, but did not think it was needed because she knew our kid was safe. I made it clear I was not concerned with dad caring for our kid. It was about feeling like we were misled. She agreed. I think for me, this demonstrates the blurred line between parents and grandparents, and it's obvious our communication needs work. I can't thank you all enough for your perspectives. She won! She successfully gaslit you into believing that this was no big deal. She successfully gaslit you into apologizing to her. What the just happened, OP? No, this is not... Quote, I think this demonstrates the blurred line between parents and grandparents, and it's obvious our communication needs work. No, this is not the blurred line between parents and grandparents, sir. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. Grandparents will not lie to you about caring for your child. The ones that give a shit, your mom chose herself over your kid. There is no other way to present this. And now she's convinced you it was just an error in judgment and not malicious. Her tracking activity says otherwise. OP, open your eyes.